You still treat as known and it's visible. We breaking the mold of traditional. You Negroes are mythical, more like a biblical miracle. Bringing the fire, the smiths of the trade. Crafting the image they try to evade. We spray from the bottom, the roots of the brave. Fruits of the tree, we ain't throwing no shade. Our brothers are dying, ain't no use in lying. The damage is seen on the news coverage. The reason we sleeping, ignoring the horror, cause we don't see God when we see each other. Righteous are gathering, learning the truth, and they pissed off and won't let it go. No time for the flattering, empty words. We just plant the seed and we let it grow. Man, I light them up like it's petrol. You ain't got insurance or a gecko. I don't think they hear me, there's an echo. They ain't Israel, must be Greco. Eat them whole race on the decline. We were built different like we divine. Once you get this knowledge, ain't no rewind. God's artwork, peep the design, check the masterpiece. Now prophecy done got everybody back in the building. Witness the army of God, 10 toes down, trumpets up to the ceiling, killing.
Boom, bust through the door. They tried to lock it, but I got the keys. Can't keep it cool, so I'm bringing the heat. I like the sun, get your vitamin D. I keep a sword pulling straight out the sheath. Built like a soldier, I'm serving the king. Cause leave you woke, now you can't even sleep. Maybe that killed your American dream. Never leave room for an error. I roll with the terror of terrors, I'm down for whatever. Cuts in the street, leave them severed. We changing the world for the better, like wonderful weather. Babylon burning forever, and when it ignite, leave your bones looking blacker than leather. Enemies lighter than feathers. My king is so clever, could turn off your light like a lever. Thy kingdom come. Judas the head, but I come from the north. Haven the ships like I live at the port. Stay in the water, not coming ashore. Keep my integrity built like a fort. Stiff, I'm a demon, but this ain't a sport. God in this chariot's coming for war. Wait on the date like I'm going to court. Gotta stay true to my people. I keep it 100, cause our numbers never subtract. If you gon' follow your demons and walk with these heathens, you never was part of the math. Simple equation, the wicked be hating, but no still be taken like they was in class. You know the truth, that's for sure, but you choosing the flow, cause a penny wise offered you cash.
Open your spiritual eyes, look what's inside. You see that Israel, all the gods, the kingdom of heaven is ours. Gates on each side, you can't even fathom the size. We on the rise, no leaven, electing my tribe. These other nations getting fried, fire gon' be their demise. And whoever's left, we ruling with an iron rod. We made in God's image, our visage was blacker than coal, but really we glisten in gold. Get folded if you even think to come against the foe. Our hands in the neck of our foes, standing stiffly from our heads down to our toes. Preaching the word and stay bold. Precepts is cold, refreshing the soul like water and flow. So that mean we float. In scripts is my weapon, okay, I'm reloaded. Shout out to Chosen, we on the motion, building a nation. Happy the notion, causing commotions wherever we going. That's only a piece. We here to live peaceful, but not here for peace. Throwing down kingdoms and slaying the beast. Christ be the captain, he bringing his fleet straight out the sea. The vision is holy. If it's the Lord and we stick to it solely, I light it, shine bright, ain't no need for a rollie. The kingdom's the goal, I defend like a goalie. If you in my way, then I'm leaving you lonely. If you a heathen, then you way below me. If you my brother, you already know me. Gather together, we sticking real closely, you dig?
That's what you call heat right there. Godhead. And these three are one. Run in you, we in the booth right now. It's 10:34. I'm gone.
Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more. Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. See the Lord like 10 times more.
See, we were supposed to be on top of the world and be the rulers, but we let the cancer enter the body and cause a tumor. Living in the worst of conditions, just like a sewer. Even looked at as the worst of the worst, more like manure. Just as it was all in my mind to go astray. Gotta seek the Lord in that same way, times 10. Now I'm putting in the work with a pen. Say when, I'm a servant till my hair turns gray. Amen. I was running out of breath, now I go 10 times farther. Since I learned the word of God, I feel 10 times smarter. For the streets paved with gold, I go 10 times harder. You can keep that cash money, no, this ain't Dwayne Carter. You can't be a weekend Jew. That's a timeshare, not doing the work and laying back like a lawn chair. Storing up your treasures in heaven, I know mine's there. Shining like the gold of Ophir, you know I'm rare. Feeded on my sins, now I'm back from the dead. I took the path 11, now I'm back for the bread. You been sleeping on the saviors, now you back in the bed. Made a gamble with your future, you cannot bet on red. Paying for the debt of my fathers, plus mine too. Since I've been converted, got me feeling like I'm brand new. Did a lot of evil, now I'm a changed Jew. Going harder than my last 2 lives, 10 times 2.
Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more. Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more. We used to get down with the demons. Now it's God who we pledge our allegiance. No more getting lit in the club on the weekends. Now we bring the light to the streets when we teaching. Live like a dog, had to be put down. No vet, flesh strong, had to work my spirit out. No flex, working for the kingdom, ain't no off days, no rest. I'm a son of God now when I say it with my chest. Children of the promise, so you can never stop us. And we ain't by no violence, but we don't move in silence. Cry aloud in the projects to give our people back our knowledge. Old ways like vomit make me nauseous. Not of this world, but you know I'm not a Martian. Talking to a God, so you better move with caution. The old man that rests had to lay him in the coffin. The gods is here and it's God we fear. Yeah, we on that God level, that's a godly tier. And you can only reach it with a godly ear. We in the last days, just know God is near. The gods is here and it's God we fear. Yeah, we on that God level, that's a godly tier. And you can only reach it with a godly ear. Yeah, we in the last days, just know God is near. Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more. Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more.
So I go hard, wasn't raised with a soft spot. Young guy, bring the fire like a matchbox. I was made from the dust near the bedrock. Black face built like the sun, I'm the mascot. Sharp blade with a grip like a stick shift. Gear switch, never break, this a long trip. Eyes straight, clear view like a LASIK. Patient, never drowning off the basics. Born a prophet, I belong on top. Got the fire on my tongue, don't need a hot wing spot. Hit the highways and the byways where they all bust shots. Waiting on the final hour like the time on clocks. Got a lot of people dreaming they was taking us down. Trying to use the media to put a 6 in the ground. Never worry about a trader, they don't roll with us now. Ain't no different from a dog, they belong in the pound. One life gotta leave from the old man. Stay strong, never change like the programs. Leave roots in the dirt, you don't need sand. Lay bricks, read through the scripts like instructions. Was there like the fate of a narco. Vain life, never care where the car go. This time got a chance to repent, so I go hella harder, 10 times more.
Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more. Set on high, but we came down low. Renew our mind, we forgot, now we know. Gave God no regard, now we gotta go hard. Seek the Lord like 10 times more.
Yeah, Godhead in the building. We only bring that heat. Check it. The kingdom coming is getting made. Whipping the water while I sweeten the sour. Call it lemonade. Lying pastors on Minute Maid. Sipping on vain thoughts and cooking up doctrines like dinner plates. Like a movie, I pull scripts and set plots. Fringed up, light up the whole hood. Old block. Anybody can get the flame, we too hot. 2 blades, rob you 2 cents. Jackpot. They ain't think thinking that you be doing this often. We flossing while killing the old man. No coffin. We let the words speak. Scripts talking like a needle. It burst bubbles. Big popping. Haters say they follow the rock, yapping a lot, but really they be capping a lot. I caught them talking on the internet in various spots. Claim me a prophet, but he profit off of the flock. Use a damn Judas, and all your followers too. So best believe you'll feel the fire like the mic in this booth. And yeah, that goes for anybody trying to lie on the truth. Hate to be you, so I'ma hold my ground like the roots.
You already know what it is. Straight bars, you dig? That's how we do it. Godhead. Now let me talk my talk. Look, please move as the real rulers maneuver. Try to measure up, least you need is 1 trillion rulers, 1 billion shooters, and millions of highly scholar tutors in a time machine, so you won't have to witness the future. Cause your demise, it was already set in stone. Now the prophet's back just to come and reset the tone. When it come to dogs, they getting buried like bones. Even if you here, might as well be already dead and gone. We supersize while y'all minimize all this bread of life and water keeping me energized. If you ever come against the truth, then you been a lie. They sour cause the scripts cut them into slices of lemon pie. Repent or die. Traders go like it's halftime. They switching sides. They wisdom shallow with little water. They slip and slide. Jacob's ladder climbing from hell. We on the rise. So it's no more 10% for this world. We cutting ties.
A new government, righteous jurisdiction, and you gon' answer for your lies and all your false intentions. The final Trump will slide off your top like the glue is missing. This Smith's got metal, got heads nodding like Sony listing. From just a bunch of slaves to your nightmares, just worry about them legions behind us, cause they don't fight fair. The prophets got the cure for your ailments, doc, that's health care. And traders getting mashed like Gerber baby, fruit pear. Room full of guys talk sideways, get spirits checked. No lynch mob, but millstones get hung by necks. Work hard to push heresies, do it for the check. There's just a little admonishing before you cast a check. Dark paths lead to dark roads, where your vision fade to Christ light your path. Leave footsteps in your place. Leave footsteps in your place.
You know, hindsight.
They don't love us, no they don't love us. They don't love us, no they don't love us. They don't love us, no they don't love us. They don't love us. Somebody tell them wake up, wake up, wake up. Somebody tell them wake up, wake up, wake up. Somebody tell them wake up. Now the truth is out, better know it with no doubt. Zechariah 11:5, go and see what that's about. No, we ain't the same people, and they don't treat us equal.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Escaping the Plantation 2.0. What? Boy, my heart almost dropped. Don't do that to me, Riley. Don't do it to me, Riley. All praise to the Most High. Hey, so with that being said, I'm your host, Captain Gedaliah. To my right, he back there.
Officer Michelle.
All praise to my left.
Officer John.
All praise to the Most High. We're going to get it in today, y'all. We're going to get it in today. So, hey, pull this up. We're doing something special, right? Escaping the Plantation and Man Up Mondays are collaborating, all right? Show me that thumbnail real quick. Escaping the Plantation 2.0 and Man Up Mondays are collaborating to prophesy against the nations. Right?
That's right.
Me and Captain Joel was discussing this, man. So we're going to prophesy against Moab today. All right? Escaping the Plantation, we're going to prophesy against Moab, and then afterwards, Captain Joel going to come up on Man Up Mondays, and he going to prophesy against Ammon. All praise to the Most High. So, hey, It's finna go down for the next 4 hours, man. We got 2 hours on Escaping Plantation, then we're going to jump into Man Up Mondays for Cap might go for 2 hours. He might go longer. All pray the Most High. It's his prerogative. I don't think nobody come on after him, so he ain't got no time limit. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, we're going to jump into it. It's going to be a fire show. We got a lot of history and stuff we're going to go through. We're going to go through some things that Moab has done to us, the origins of Moab and the prophecies that the Lord prophesied against them and what's going to happen to them in the end. I think y'all going to like this one. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and start out with that first scripture.
Sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 71 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape.
Read.
Incline thine ear unto me and save me.
So we ask the Lord to deliver us in his righteousness and cause us to escape. Escape what? The plantation. You understand? 'Cause that's what we own, brothers and sisters. We is own plantation. If you is sleep, you don't understand, you ain't paying attention, you own the plantation. You understand what I'm saying? I know I am. Right. Sheesh, I'm trying to escape that joint every day. You understand? Every. Right? For real, though. You try to think about escape before you even get there. As you waking up, you like, man, how can I escape? Already, but hey, all praise to the Most High. That's our punishment for breaking God's laws. Broke God's law. Look at our answer. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? Great granddaddy. Thanks a lot. Children in the wilderness. Breaking God's law. Now we in captivity now. But all pray we can redeem ourselves. But with that being said, man, I want to show that thumbnail real quick. Now, the whole show going to be a righteous rant. I'm just going to keep it 1,000. Okay, the whole show is going to be a righteous rant. Put up that thumbnail. So we're going to prophesy against Moab. All praise to the Most High. It's a fire thumbnail right there. It's a fire thumbnail, okay? So go on play the righteous rant today, man. It is what it is. I don't have a righteous rant today, but it is what it is. Show us the righteous rant. All praise to the Most High. So today we're going to prophesy against Moab, okay? So before we do that, let's get into the origins of Moab. Who is Moab? All right, who are them folks? Let's see. Go to Genesis 19 right quick. Genesis chapter 19. Let's go to verse 29 real quick. Genesis 19:29. Let's deal with the origins of Moab. Moab is the so-called Chinese today. Watch this, read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt.
Right. So the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah with fire and brimstone. Right? Go ahead.
And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters.
Now remember, his wife looked back, right? And she became a pillar of salt because of it, right? Go ahead.
And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth.
So his daughters came up with a plan. They said, well, our father is old. We just saw fire and brimstone rain down upon Sodom and Gomorrah. So they figured there was no more man around for them to sleep with to bring forth children. Go ahead.
Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Go ahead.
And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
So she slept with her father. She got him drunk and had sex with him. Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father.
Go ahead.
Let us make him drink wine this night also.
Go ahead.
And go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him.
Go ahead.
And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
So they got him so drunk, they both had sex with him 2 different nights. They got him that drunk, all right? Now, if you're thinking this, somebody in their mind is trying to be clever and say, oh, God allowed incest. Well, that was how these 2 nations, this is the beginning of nations, all right? Lot's children had to have descendants, all right? He only had daughters. Go ahead.
Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab.
So the firstborn name was Moab. Moab. Go ahead.
The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day.
So Lot is the father of the Moabites by his daughter. That's incest, obviously. We understand that today. But at this time, it's the beginning of nations. The Lord allowed it to bring forth this particular race into the earth. Go ahead.
And the younger, she also bare a son and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
So Ammon comes from Ben-Ami, okay? Ben-Ami. So you got Moab and you got Ammon. Now, I want you to go to Leviticus real quick because the Most High did write this in his law. Go to Leviticus 18 real fast. Go to chapter 18, verse 7.
The book of Leviticus 18 and verse 7. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother thou shalt not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
So the Lord had a law when we came out of Egypt to not lay with your father or lay with your mother. Like we said, they call it incest. And what it causes is it causes different diseases and sicknesses, right? When you have the father lay with his daughter, that scientifically, that DNA is too close together. You understand what I'm saying? And it causes Down syndrome. It causes different sicknesses, right? Now, I want to show you. Pull up Mongoloid real quick. I think I had some images there. Give me a human race first. So if you notice, the so-called Japanese and the so-called Chinese, Moab and Ammon, they got a different look to themselves. They have a Mongoloid look, as they call it, a slant to their eyes. So you got the black man, you got the so-called white man, you have Moab or the Asian, right? And then you have the so-called Arab. Now, look at the Asian. Look at his eyes. Now, they weren't always light like this, all right? Before time, in the beginning, we're going to show you some ancient pictures of Moab. They were dark-skinned people with woolly hair. They were descendants of Lot. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're looking at right here, and Lot was a Hebrew, by the way. So we're looking at right here, we're looking at these eyes, the slants of the eye. They call this the human race, but the human race got different phenotypes, okay? Go to the next one. Go to the next image. All right, yeah, zoom in on this. You got the so-called Caucasian man. He a brute, beast, caveman, dirty, stank, nasty. Oh, you just can't stand him. Anyway, in the middle, that's supposed to be Gad, but we know Gad and Judah, we the same, right? But through the mixing of Moab, because we're gonna read that later about how Gad and Reuben was in the land of Moab, so it's no coincidence that our forefathers mingled with some Moabite women. We can also show you that in Numbers 25. So a lot of times you see a lot of Gadites and a lot of Issacharites and Zebulunites and things of that nature. They got kind of those same kind of slant to their eyes. And you say, well, are they Asian? No, they're not Asian, all right? They just, their fathers mixed with Asian women, so-called Asian women. But if you look over to the side, that's that Mongoloid look right there. And that comes from the fact that Lot had sex with his two daughters, and they brought forth seed, all right? Moab and Ben-Ami, which is Ammon, okay? Go to the next image. Mongoloid, let's look at this up.
This is the definition. This is Mongoloid. Relating to the broad division of humankind, including the indigenous people of East Asia, Southeast Asia,
go ahead,
and the Arctic region of North America.
So that's a lie right there. You see that Arctic region of North America? That's the Bourbon Strait lie that they say Gad and Reuben, the Native American Indians, descend from Asians, and they came over on what they call the Bourbon Strait, right? But that ain't happened, okay? Now, go up. You see what it says, the first one?
Yes, sir. Mongoloid. Old-fashioned term for a person with Down syndrome.
This first was Down syndrome. Now, if you notice, people with Down syndrome, and we know we got our people, some of our people have Down syndrome. Some of us have family members that have Down syndrome. So obviously, we're not making fun of that for those of you that are sensitive. That's not the point of us bringing this up, but we're showing you where these people come from and why they look the way that they look. Now, go to the next image for me real quick. So you have 4 different types of what they call Negroid, Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and then Australoid. And Australoid is Japhet, right? They come from Australia. They were known as the white man called them the Tasmanians or the Tasmanian devil, right? That's where you get that cartoon, like Looney Tunes? I can't remember. Where he's spinning around, really, he's doing all that stuff like that. They try to make it seem like the native people of that land were beasts, right? And didn't have no intellect, wore loincloths and things like that. But now they had a civilization. So that's what they call Australoid. But you have Negroid, that's us. And then you have Mongoloid. Mongoloid, once again, comes from the father being Lot having sex with his 2 daughters. So that's the reason Moab looks the way that Moab looks, okay? So I hope y'all have some understanding when it comes to that. Now, I want you to give me, I just popped in my head. Go to Jeremiah 49, verse 1 real quick. I want to show you regarding, because you got, like I said, you got some Gadites and some Issacharites and so on and so forth that look Asian. You be like, why they look like that? Let me show you this. Come on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Concerning the Ammonites.
So we're talking about the Ammonites, right? The sons of Ammon or Ben-Ami. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, hath Israel no sons? Hath he no heir?
Go ahead.
Why then doth their king inherit God?
Why did the king inherit Gad? G-A-D, Gad. I know in your Bible say God. I know. I used to have that Bible. Go ahead.
And his people dwell in his cities.
And his people dwell in his city. So that's the reason that you see that type of look, that slant to those eyes, and you automatically equate that with being Asian. No, they're not Asian. Our forefathers mixed with their mothers, and that's where that phenotype come from. Am I right? You've seen that before, right? We've all seen it, okay? So that's not far-fetched. It's not something that's just out of the ordinary. It actually happened, okay? So we see it on a daily basis. Now, as it pertains to Moab, I want you to give me the ancient map of Moab. Let's look at ancient map of Moab, because a lot of times you read the Bible and you read about Moab, and we automatically say, yeah, that's talking about the so-called Chinese, which it is, and we're going to show you that today. But a lot of times when the Bible's talking about Moab or the land of Moab, it's talking about the place that we now call Bozrah or Jordan, so on and so forth. So I want you to look. So this is an ancient map of Moab. Zoom in for me. So you had Moab and Ammon. Now, on the left side, you had Judah, Philistia, Israel, all these areas right here. And this was occupied by our forefathers to the left of the Jordan. The Jordan River is right there in the middle, that big stage you see right there in the middle. Now, on the right side of Jordan, you had Reuben. Give me that real quick. In the book of Numbers 32. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Numbers 32, verse 2 and 3. Regarding Reuben and Gad. Watch this.
The book of Numbers, chapter 32 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
The children of Gad and the children of Reuben
Go ahead.
came and spake unto Moses and to Eleazar the priest, and unto the princes of the congregation, saying, Adaroth and Dibon.
Adaroth and Dibon. Go ahead.
And Jazer, and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Eleleh, and Shebam, and Nebo, and Beon. Even the country which the Lord smote before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle.
Go ahead.
Wherefore said they, if we have found grace in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan.
Go back to that image. So that's why you got to read the Bible, and then you got to pull the map up. You pull the map up. You got to know what you're reading about. A lot of time we just read and we get bored and we just, oh yeah, goodbye, Nebo and Dibon. And no. Look where that place at. So you know what the hell you're talking about. Because I'm tired of these Christians coming up trying to challenge us by our own Bible. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They come up and challenge us and we don't know. I don't know. Right? So you got the Dead Sea down here at the bottom, but above that you got the River Jordan. On this side, the River Jordan, you had Gad and Reuben. Now you see where it says Mount Nebo? And below it, you have Moab. And to the right of it, you had Ammon. So Gad and Reuben was always around Moab and Ammon. And mixed amongst them. And that's where that mongoloid look amongst the so-called Native American Indians and the so-called Seminole Indians and the so-called Northern Kingdom. All right? Or that's the so-called, the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Hispanics and so on and so forth. All right? So we dwelt on that side. Our forefathers dwelt on that side of the River Jordan. That was a land that was good for cattle. So our forefathers asked Moses, could they occupy that land? And he gave them that land. So yeah, y'all can occupy that, no problem. And that's what we did. Go back to the first map. So I wanted to show you that right below that, you had Moab. So when you're reading about Moab in ancient times, you're reading about them being right above Edom and right below Ammon. Okay? Now go to the next map I had. It's a white map. It's got a, that one right there. Pull that one back up for me. The one you just had. Yep. So you got Ammon. So you see Nebo, Medeba, Dibon, and Ker. Now, and Ker, I want to deal with that for a minute. So they was dwelling in this land right here, brothers and sisters. I want you to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 15, verse 1. So we're going to do a lot of reading today. So if you don't like to read, this ain't the show for you today. Because we're going to jump into some reading today. But I want to deal with some prophecy regarding Moab. Because you see them there, and then you say, well, how in the hell they get to China? How they get way over there in the east? Right. Let me show you that today. Reach that.
Isaiah chapter 15 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Bring it out. The burden of Moab. Because in the night Ar of Moab is laid waste and is brought to silence. Because in the night Ker of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence.
So the burden of Moab, because in the night Ar. Now Ar, we just saw that on the map right there. I want you to go to Numbers 21:15. So Ar, or AR, whatever you want to say, I don't know. Okay, I'm black. Okay, but Ar was in the land of Moab. Okay, give me that.
The book of Numbers, chapter 21 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
And at the stream of the brooks that goeth down to the dwelling of Ar, and lieth upon the border of Moab.
Lie upon the border of Moab. Go ahead.
And from thence they went to Beer. That is the well whereof the Lord spake unto Moses, gather the people together, and I will give them water.
Watch this. Deuteronomy 2, verse 9. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 9. Yep.
Deuteronomy 2, verse 9.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto me, distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle. For I will not give thee their land for a possession, because I have given Ar unto the children of Lot.
So the Lord said he gave Ar to the children of Lot. All right, go ahead.
For a possession. The Emims dwelt therein in time past.
The Emims dwelt there in time past. Go ahead.
A people great and many and tall as the Anakims.
That's the Anakim. So these some tall people that was living in there previously. Then the Lord gave that land to Moab. That's what we just saw on the map. Go back to the map real quick. That's what we just saw on the map. The Lord gave that land to them. All right, skip down to 18.
Yes, sir. Verse 18. Thou art to pass over through Ar, the coast of Moab, this day.
29.
Yes, sir. Verse 29. As the children of Esau which dwell in Seir, and the Moabites which dwell in Ar.
See that? The Moabites dwelt in Ar. Go ahead.
Did unto me until I shall pass over Jordan into the land which the Lord our God giveth us.
So watch this. So we showing you through the prophecies that these people, or even through the history, where these people dwelt at. Originally, they dwelt south of Ammon, south of Reuben and Gad, in the land of Moab, okay? So Moab was much closer to the land of Israel in that time. So when we're reading about Moab in the scriptures, you got to be able to decipher, okay, is he talking about the people right now? Is he talking about the land right now? Is this future prophecy, or has this happened in the past? It's important for us to know this, brothers and sisters. So they dwelt in the land of Ar, right? So go back to Isaiah 15, verse 1 again.
Isaiah 15 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
The burden of Moab, because in the night Ar of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence.
Go ahead.
Because in the night Ker of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence.
Go back to the map. So it says in the night Ker. So we see that right there where it says Ker. Now Ker is the same as Kir Har Ashith, right? Or Kir Har Aseth. You have many different names of that, okay? Go to Ezekiel 25, verse 9. Ezekiel 25, verse 9. Matter of fact, before you go there, go to 2 Kings 3. Because we're dealing with Ker, right? 2 Kings 3, verse 4.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 3 and verse 4.
All right, pay attention to this.
And Mesha, king of Moab, was a sheep master, and rendered unto the king of Israel 100,000 lambs, and 100,000 rams with the wool.
Go ahead.
But it came to pass when Ahab was dead.
So when Ahab died, remember Ahab was the husband to Jezebel. Ahab did much evil in the sight of the Lord. The Lord killed Ahab, okay? When Ahab died, though, Mesha, the king of Moab, rebelled against the Israelites. Go ahead.
But when it came to pass when Ahab was dead, that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel.
So the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. It's very important that you remember this. So he rebelled against the king of Israel. So Israel, Judah, and Edom, I know it sounds crazy, Edom, Judah, and Israel came up against Moab. All right, watch this. Skip down for sake of time. Verse 14.
Yes, sir.
So they inquired of the prophet, because the king of Israel, in his mind, he said, no, the Lord going to deliver us. The Lord brought us three together, me, Judah, and Edom together, and the Lord going to destroy us by the hand of Moab. So they were looking for a prophet that would tell them what was going to come to pass. All right, skip down to verse 14.
Verse 14, and Elisha said, as the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, surely were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee, nor see thee.
So I just wanted to show y'all that scripture to show you that the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom's beef was real. You see what Elisha the prophet just said to Jehoshaphat. He said, look, man, I don't even want to see your face. That's how sharp the contention was between them. Go ahead.
But now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass when the minstrel played that the hand of the Lord came upon him. And he said, thus saith the Lord, make this valley full of ditches.
He said, make this valley full of ditches. Go ahead.
For thus saith the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain. Yet that valley shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts.
Watch this.
And this is but a light thing in the sight of the Lord.
Go ahead.
He will deliver the Moabites also into your hand.
He will deliver the Moabites into your hand. This is the prophet Elisha letting our forefathers know the Lord is going to destroy Moab and deliver them into your hand. Go ahead.
And ye shall smite every fenced city and every choice city, and shall fell every good tree, and stop all wells of water, and mar every good piece of land with stones.
Read.
And it came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, that behold, there came water by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water.
Go back to that map real quick, show you what we're looking at. So as there came water, zoom out so we can see Edom. There you go. Bring it up. There you go. It said water was going to come by the country or by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water. So all of that, from where you're looking at right there, from the direction of Edom, all throughout Kir was filled with water. Okay, watch this. Keep reading.
And when all the Moabites heard that the kings were come up to fight against them, they gathered all that were able to put on armor and upward and stood in the border. And they rose up early in the morning, and the sun shone upon the water. And the Moabites saw the water on the other side as red as blood.
So when they saw the water filling that land, they said, yo, that's blood. Because the sun, I don't know, reflected over it, or the early morning look of the sun when it first came up. What they call it, sunrise, or what, sunrise. When sunrise came up, the way it looked on the water, it looked like everything was blood in front of them. Go ahead.
And they said, this is blood. The kings are surely slain.
They thought that Judah, Israel, and Edom got to fighting each other and killed each other. Go ahead.
And they have smitten one another. Now, therefore, Moab to the spoil.
He said, now for Moab to the spoil. They done killed each other. Read.
And when they came to the camp of Israel,
Go ahead.
the Israelites rose up and smote the Moabites, so that they fled before them. But they went forward, smiting the Moabites, even in their country.
So we went into Kir, where we were just reading, and we smote the Moabites. Okay, go ahead.
And they beat down the cities.
Go ahead.
And they beat down the cities, and on every good piece of land cast every man his stone, and filled it. And they stopped all the wells of water, and felled all the good trees. Only in Kir-har-aseth.
Kir-har-aseth. So Kir that we're looking at on the map, that's Kir-har-aseth. It's just Kir for short. All right, go ahead.
Left they the stones thereof. Howbeit the slingers went about it and smote it.
Go ahead.
And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too sore for him.
When he saw he ain't want no smoke, that what that mean? He saw the battle too sore. He said, I ain't messing with them folk. Go ahead.
He took with them 700 men that drew swords to break through even unto the king of Edom, but they could not.
They thought they was going to run through Edom, and Edom was ready for war too. Go ahead.
Then he took his eldest son that should have reigned in his stead, and offered him for a burnt offering upon the wall.
Then he took his oldest son that was supposed to reign in his stead, and he offered him. These people, I know y'all be thinking Moab is just all they ain't no, these folks is wicked. They always been wicked. This man sacrificed his own son. Go ahead.
And there was great indignation against Israel.
Go ahead.
And they departed from him and returned to their own land.
Now, when it says there was great indignation against Israel, they hated us because of this. I want to show you, because a lot of y'all don't think that the Moabites got hatred. I'm going to show you today. We got videos, clips. I'm going to show you. Moab always hated Judah. Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, they hate us. They've always hated us. You understand? Black woman run up in there, like, oh, they all cool. They gave us 5% off a brilliant Brazilian wavy. And a cap, what they call that cap they put on their head? A front, what they call that damn thing they put on their head? Lace front, whatever it is. Yeah, where they sew through their own damn scalp. Crazy as hell, man. You already got that beautiful hair. Damn. Wow. You gonna sew through your own scalp to put their hair in your head. You crazy. Don't get me started, man. This ain't about black women today. I love y'all sisters, man. All right, so so I wanted to show you when we go back to Isaiah 15, verse 1, I'm trying to give you the distinction. Go ahead.
Isaiah 15, verse 1, the burden of Moab. Because in the night Ar of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence, because in the night Kir of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence.
They were brought to silence when our forefathers linked up Israel, Judah, and we linked up with Edom, and we destroyed them. The Israelites destroyed the Moabites. The Moabites had an enragement of hatred because of that thing, because of what we had done to them in times past. When you read the scriptures, you realize we was kicking everybody's behind. You understand? And they hated us. The Canaanites, the Philistines, they hated us because we run up in your land and whoop them. And they held that indignation and hatred, waiting for our fall. And when we fail, that's why they punished us the way that they have punished us. Now, moving forward on this, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25. So some of you may be saying, okay, well, if that was the land of Moab, how did they get to China? I'm going to show you. Give me that next map real quick. What I said? Oh, Ezekiel 25 and 9. Now, but hold on, put that next map up. I had one more map after this. It was a bright. Yes. Now look at these cities, y'all. Dibon, Arnon, right? Medeba, Kir Haraseth. We just saw where our forefathers went there and beat the brakes off Moab. You understand what I'm saying? And they was mad. Basra, which is modern day Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? That's where they dwelt. Now watch this. Go to where I said, Ezekiel 29, 25. I'm going to show you how they got eastward. Read.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 9.
Come on.
Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the cities, from the cities which are on his frontiers.
Go ahead.
The glory of the country of Beth Jeshemoth.
Go ahead.
Baal Meon and Kiriathaim.
Go back to Beth Jeshemoth. I'm showing you so you historically you can understand, so you won't make the mistake of thinking that this is just talking about China. Yes, the Moabites are the modern day Chinese. But before they dwelt there, brothers and sisters, they dwelt on the east of Jordan, the east of the Dead Sea. You understand? Now you see Beth Jeshemoth, right? Read that again. Verse 9?
Yes, sir.
Start at 8.
Yes, sir. Verse 8. Thus saith the Lord God, because that Moab and Seir do say, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen. Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the cities.
Go ahead.
From his cities which are on his frontiers, the glory of the country of Beth Jeshemoth.
Beth Jeshemoth, that's up top right there. Read.
Baal Meon.
Baal Meon. I don't know if that's on the map. Go ahead.
And Kiriathaim.
So Kiriathaim is the same as Kir Harasheth. They use the same. They use the same first three letters, but oftentimes the ending of it is translated differently for whatever reason. But it's the same place. Go ahead.
Unto the men of the east with the Ammonites.
It's unto the men of the east with the Ammonites. So they started off in this region here, and them and the so-called Japanese Ammon, they moved eastward. They went east to where we know today is so-called China, Japan, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Unto the men of the east with the Ammonites, and will give them in possession, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations.
So when you look up history about Ammon and Moab, it's some of the hardest history to find, because the Lord just said that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations. It's hard to find certain information. You got to do deep dive research to find out about Moab. You ever notice we don't go in on Moab and Ammon as much? We know, but we end up recycling the same information, because unless the Lord uncovers it, it's hard to find it, because they did a good job of causing it to be covered. Okay, go ahead.
And I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
And the Lord executed judgment. What was that judgment? What we just seen, the night of Ar, the night of Kirasheth, right? When our forefathers beat the brakes off of them and they ended up migrating east. Right now, watch this. Go from there real quick. Go to Jeremiah 48, verse 7. So remember, the Bible says they was going to be forced to migrate east. You got to find out who forced them to migrate east. What happened with that? Watch this. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 48 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
For because thou hast trusted in thy works and in thy treasures.
This is Moab he's speaking to. Read. Start at 1.
Verse 1. Against Moab, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Woe unto Nebo.
Woe unto Nebo.
For it is spoiled.
Go ahead.
Kiriathaim,
which is Kir Harasheth. Go ahead.
Is confounded and taken.
Go ahead.
Misgab is confounded and dismayed.
So we're talking about Moab, right? Skip down to verse 7.
Verse 7. For because thou hast trusted in thy works and in thy treasures,
Read.
Thou shalt also be taken, and Chemosh shall go forth into captivity with his priests and with his princes together.
So Chemosh was their ancient god that they used to worship. Did I put that in there? I might not have put it in there. I had it in the group, but I don't know if I actually added y'all in. Let me show you real quick. I'm gonna break it all the way down. I'm gonna give y'all some understanding to the best of my ability. And where I'm wrong at, where I lack at, somebody will pick it up for me later. This right here, I just put T next to it. Pull that up for me real quick. So it says, thou shalt also be taken, and Shamash shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. Watch this. Pull that up for us, y'all. And I want you to give me 1 Kings 11 and 7. Yes, sir. Or 11 and 1, then 7. Watch this. Shamash. Let me know when you got it. All right, yeah, zoom in on that. I'll read it. So Shamash, biblical Hebrew, is an ancient Semitic deity whose existence is recorded during the Iron Age. Shamash was the supreme deity of the Canaanite state of Moab and the patron god of its population. The Moabites, who in consequence were called the people of Shamash. Shamash is primarily attested from Moabite inscriptions and the Hebrew Bible. So they were calling them the people of Shamash because, or Kamash, however you want to say it, because they followed that ancient idol, okay? So when you go to, what had you go to? Go to 1 Kings 11, verse 1. Watch what happened.
The book of 1 Kings 11 and verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and the Hittites.
So the Lord told us not to deal with these people, but our forefather, King Solomon, did. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Then did Solomon build an high place for Shamash, the abomination of Moab.
So Solomon in his old age married these wives of the other nations, Moab being one of them, and he became corrupted by them in his old age. And he himself built a high place for Shamash. So when the Bible talks about the people of Shamash, it's talking about the Moabites. That was their idol, their deity. Guess what? That same deity is the equivalent of Ashtaroth of the Philistines, which is what you celebrate Easter today. Ashtaroth, Astarte, Easter, Shamash, they all the same ancient Semitic Canaanite god or idol. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 8. Then did Solomon build an high place for Shamash, the abomination of Moab, and the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Read.
And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burn incense and sacrifice unto their gods.
And sacrifice unto their gods. So when I want you to go back to Jeremiah 48, verse 8 now. So we saw that it said Shamash, the people of Shamash going into captivity. That's the Moabites. They're going into slavery, right? Go ahead.
Jeremiah 48, verse 8.
Come on.
And the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape.
And the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. Go ahead.
The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord hath spoken.
So who is the spoiler? The spoiler is Nebuchadnezzar. Go to the book of Jeremiah 43 and 10. The spoiler is Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar got pissed off and came against everybody. Egypt, Ammon, Moab, Israel. He came against everybody. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 43 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
And say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will send and take Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will set his throne upon these stones that I have hid, and he shall spread his royal pavilion over them.
Read.
And when he cometh, he shall smite the land of Egypt, and deliver such as are for death to death, and such as are for captivity to captivity, and such as are for the sword to the sword.
So when the Lord sent Nebuchadnezzar against the nations, he did what he was supposed to do. The Lord told the Moabites, he gonna spoil y'all. You going into captivity. Come on.
And I will
Jeremiah 48.
Yes, sir.
Verse 8.
Jeremiah
I know we're moving kind of quick, but I got a lot of,
Jeremiah 48, verse 8. And the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord hath spoken.
Go ahead.
Give wings unto Moab.
Give wings unto Moab, right? Go ahead.
That it may flee and get away.
And where did it flee and get away? We read it in Ezekiel. To the east. They left the land. Go back to the first map I had with Moab on there, or one of the maps. They were once here. Zoom in right here. This is where they once were, brothers and sisters. And they fled from this place. Some of them were taken into captivity. Some of them were pushed further and further east. Go ahead, read.
Give wings unto Moab, that it may flee and get away. For the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell therein.
Go ahead.
Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood.
Read.
Moab hath been at ease from his youth.
So Moab had been at ease from his youth. Go ahead.
And he hath settled on his lees, and have not been emptied from vessel to vessel.
Empty from vessel to vessel, meaning gone from one place to another. Moab had it good, basically. Read.
Neither hath he gone into captivity. Therefore, his taste remain in him, and his scent is not changed.
He didn't change his ways. He didn't change his way. We're going to show you that throughout time. Moab ain't changed his ways even now. Moab, the Lord said, I got to bring judgment on them. I got to remove them from that land. I'm going to send them east because they ain't had no real adversity. Because remember, we read earlier about how they was following Chamash. And we read even earlier where the Lord said, don't kick them out of Ar. I've already given that possession to Lot. Don't mess with them when they come to that. Let them have that land. So they hadn't been vexed quite yet, okay? Until we read about in the time of Kings, well, in the night of Ar and Kirasif, when our forefather brought judgment. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send unto him wanderers that shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels and break their bottles.
Go ahead.
And Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh.
And they're going to be ashamed of that idol they was following, because that idol couldn't stop Nebuchadnezzar from coming against them. That idol couldn't save them. Go ahead.
As the house of Israel was ashamed for Bethel, their confidence.
And as our forefather was ashamed of Bethel in their confidence. Go to Amos 2:1. Give me that book. Real quick, give me that map real quick of China. So Babylon moved them east, right? And this is where they ended up at. They ended up in China, okay, which is far east over on the Pacific Ocean, right? You see small Japan. Japan little as hell. God, dog. Ain't realize that thing small. China's huge, though, right? Read that for me.
The book of Amos, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Watch this.
Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Moab, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
Read.
Because he burnt the bones of the king of Edom into lime.
So it say he burnt the bones of the king of Edom into lime. We read that earlier in 2 Kings 3. Go ahead.
But I will send a fire upon Moab, and it shall devour the palaces of Kirioth. And Moab shall die with tumult, with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet.
That's when Nebuchadnezzar came and pushed them out of their land, sent them further east. A lot of them died, and a lot of them went into captivity. Go ahead.
And I will cut off the judge from the midst thereof, and will slay all the princes thereof with him, saith the Lord.
So they king couldn't stand up or nothing. All right. The Lord said, look, Nebo's done. Kirashathaim is done. What do they call it? Go back to Jeremiah. Make sure I don't butcher the name. Jeremiah 48:2. No, 1. Misgab, that's what it is, Misgab. Okay, sorry, Misgab. So you see the judgments coming on Moab. So you saw them end up in what we know today as modern day China, okay? Now go to that book I had real quick, showing who Moab is. Pull up the cover. It's kind of blurry, y'all. The interior of the book is kind of blurry, but read that.
This Destiny, January 1963.
Was that volume 34?
Sir, volume 34. Yes,
yep, 1963. Zoom in. It's real blurred, but you might be able to see it. Let's see. Can you understand that? It is significant. So can y'all zoom in one more layer? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got you. It is significant. It is significant.
Pull it over. Pull it over. It's cut off a little bit. Zoom out. There you go.
It is significant that it was Moab and Ammon,
the ancestors
of China and Japan, who came against Jehoshaphat
in the battle that their descendants are the peoples of 2 brethren something. I don't know. I can't tell. That's the best we can do for now. Trade heathen country. There you go. The brethren of the peoples of 2 great heathen countries. So China and Japan is Moab and Ammon, and they're heathens.
Damn, son.
That's what the Bible says, and that's what this says right here. You understand? So Moab and Ammon, we know what we're talking about when we say Moab and Ammon are the so-called Chinese and the so-called Japanese. You have something to say on that also? Okay, I'll praise it. Go to Psalms 83 for me. Psalm 83, verse 1. And y'all can throw some sound effects in there, some bombs and stuff like that. Don't act like y'all knew all this. Maybe you did. I'm messing around. Maybe you did. But help me out. Shoot, it's dry up in here. It's dry. Come on. Psalms 83 and
The
1.
book of Psalm chapter 83 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Read.
Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God.
Read.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So it said, our enemies make a tumult. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate the Israelites and that hate God have lifted up the head. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
So everybody that he about to name came together against the Israelites. They have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
Who are they?
The tabernacles of Edom.
So you got Edom, they number one.
And the Ishmaelites.
And Ishmael, that's the Arabs. Go ahead.
Of Moab.
And Moab. Moab, Moab, Moab. They always came against the children of Israel. They're the third on God's hit list. That's why we read all them judgments earlier, the Lord judging them and got Nebuchadnezzar to destroy them and move them out of the land. You have something you want to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people, y'all don't know that, and y'all still going to their restaurants and to their beauty salons and to their nail shops, and you don't even know, along with the so-called white man and the Arabs, that's one of your enemies.
Right.
So while you making them rich and giving them all your money, understand that the children of Moab, which are the Chinese,
right,
those are your enemies. That's why when you go in there and things go left, then they want to beat you up and kick you out the store. That's because they have a hatred for you.
Right, and I'm going to show you they had us in captivity too. Go to that image of this young boy right here. So here's an image. Here are some images of Southeast Asians. Now, y'all ain't never seen this before. You ain't never seen black people in Southeast Asia like this. Now, look at his hair texture. I want you to zoom in on the young man. This is our brother. This is an Israelite. Look at that nose. That is an Israelite, brother.
That's
Look at that hair. That's an Israelite right there. And you may say, well, how in the world did the Israelites get to Southeast Asia? Let me show you. Slavery.
You're going to learn today.
Now, zoom out real quick. Go to the next image. Go to the next image. Okay? So y'all see these images right here. Some of them, they try to scratch the black off. Look at they try to scratch the black off of them. Black with woolly hair. Okay? Go to the next image. It tells you what that is. Read that for me.
Glazed pottery figure of a black boy with curly hair. North Central China, Tang Dynasty.
The Tang Dynasty, go ahead.
7th or early 8th century AD.
So that first image you saw was a boy of Southeast Asia. And then the second image that you saw, these right here, are like the officer just read, these are black Israelites that were in China during 700 AD, the 7th or early 8th AD. Yeah, it's 8th century AD. Okay, it is located in Cernusha Museum in Paris and the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. So you can find these in Paris and in London. So they got all this stuff in Europe, and we don't know nothing about it. We ain't never heard of no Tang Dynasty and what we had to do with it. You understand? You have something you want to say? Go ahead.
That's why we can't find it, because Esau always stealing it. So, like you just read in Psalms 83, that the nation of Israel may be no more remembered.
So we don't know nothing. Now you remember in the movie Black Panther. Remember he was asking the Edomite, where is from? Where that's from? She, oh, that's from this. They say, hey, nah. He's like, that's modern day Mali or Ghana or something like that. Your ancestors stole it from ours. They got these artifacts in London and in Europe and all these places. Now go to that right there. Read that for me.
Yes, sir. In southern China, this is from Bill Figueroa. In southern China especially, it was not unheard to have black slaves. Zhu Yu writes about foreign traders and rich households on the southern Chinese coast in his 1197 notes on Pingzhou Transwinsky. Many of the wealthy households in Guangzhou raised devil slaves.
You hear what they called us? So I told you. When the Bible said that they are enemies, that's what it means. They called us devil slaves. Now, when you zoom in on that image right there, look at the hair. Look at the hair. Look at the nose. Look at the cheekbones, the facial features. That's black. Those are Israelites, brothers and sisters. You ain't never been taught this. Now go to the next image. I'll show you something. Now, there's a show, an anime show that some of us used to watch back in the day called Dragon Ball Z. Now, in Dragon Ball Z, they had a man on there named Mr. Popo. And he was, am I right? And he dressed like a Chinese slave. You understand what I'm saying? See that black man right there fanning look at the Moabite right up under him. The black man fanning the Moabite. They had us in slavery, brothers and sisters. This ain't nothing new. That's him right there. That's him fanning him. So Mr. Popo is actually them making fun of us and our ancestors because we don't have no idea that the Chinese used to have us in slavery. Give me that in Judges 13 and 14. They had us in captivity, brothers and sisters. And it didn't happen just once. It happened multiple times throughout history. Read that for me.
The book of Judges, chapter 3 and verse 13.
Yep.
And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees.
And possessed the city of palm trees, right? Jerusalem, Israel. Go ahead.
So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years.
And we served the Moabites for 18 years. It's not nothing new. These nations have often had us in captivity time after time after time again, right? Go from there. Go to the book of Deuteronomy 28:32. Here's another image right here of black slaves fanning these ancient Chinese women. You understand that these women that had these crowns on their head and their dresses and stuff, look, you see that black slave fanning them? So this ain't nothing new, okay? We ain't making this up. The Moabites had us in captivity. Read that for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32.
Go ahead.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Read.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
So, brothers and sisters, we got to get out of this only dealing with America, only dealing with the slavery of the South and things of that nature, what happened in Mississippi and Georgia, North Carolina. We got to branch out from that. The Moabites had us in captivity too. Just like the Ammonites, just like the Ishmaelites. They had us in captivity back then, and guess what? It's a lot of our people over there, and we're going to show you that today, in China, catching pure hell. You understand? But you don't know nothing about it. Ain't nobody taught you that. Go ahead, Oscar.
Give me Luke 12 and 2. Because see what is going into, the water is rising. So as the water rises, we got to bring our understanding to a new level on the nations. It's not just the white man that had us in captivity. As we going into it, Ishmael, Moab, all nations conspired together to bring us down. Read it.
The book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
So that's what's going on right there. There is nothing covered that will not be revealed. Go ahead.
Neither hid that shall not be known.
Neither hid that shall not be known. We're going to make it known about all the nations that have came against us. We're going to go into the books. We're going to dive into the history. And if it be the Lord's will, we're going to bring it out and show you these people are the devil too.
Hey, and let me show you I'm glad you brought that out. Let me show you the Most High, how the Most High mocked Moab. Go back to Jeremiah 48 and 2 real quick. So we read in Jeremiah 48, and through a lot of these scriptures, it's twofold. Some of it is going into what happened during the time that Babylon came against Moab. Our forefathers came in and destroyed Kirasheth, right? Or Kiraseth, excuse me. There's times where you're reading scriptures, and it's not only talking about at that time back then what happened, it's also talking about the future. Now let me show you what God said about Moab.
The book of Jeremiah 48 and verse 2. There shall be no more praise of Moab.
There'll be no more praise of Moab. Right now, Moab is being praised. Or they're the tech giants, or they're the next super world power. After America, Moab gonna rule. Hell no. After America, Christ gonna rule. We gonna rule with it. Watch this.
In Heshbon, they have devised evil against it.
Read.
Come and let us cut it off from being a nation.
What they say?
Come and let us cut it off from being a nation.
So the same judgment that they want to bring against us when they came together and conspired to say, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, the same thing was conspired against them by the Babylonians and the nations that were surrounding them to cut them off from being a nation. But watch what he calls them.
Also, thou shalt be cut down, O mad men.
What do he call Moab?
Mad men.
Moab is a mad man. Y'all think that this is a game. No, they did much evil to us in slavery. I'm going to show you a clip of a sister. In her mind, she said, well, I think Chinese people, their slavery is through ignorance. Hell no, they know who you are. They know exactly who you are. We just saw that they had slavery, they had us enslaved during the Tang Dynasty. So they know who you are. The first samurai was a black man. They know who we are, brothers and sisters. We the ones that sleep out here. Go back to that last image you was about to pull up. It's almost black and white, almost. Is that the one? No, before that. Right before that. Nope, okay, maybe it was. No, before that. Let me see. It was one I had. No, it is after that. It just looked funny on the screen. The lighting looked funny on the screen. Zoom in on that. I ain't even see this one, but this is good. Look at that, y'all. Look at them slaves. Look at them slaves building houses, them black slaves. Building houses, building statues. This is not a game. We're trying to show you and give you the understanding. These people had us in captivity, brothers and sisters. They had us in captivity, and they had no problem afflicting us. That's why the Bible called them old mad men. You understand? Now zoom in on this one right here. Same thing. You see black slaves out there building their houses. Look at us up on the roof, building their houses. You understand that? Same thing. No difference. Right? Go from there. Go to what I had next. Go to the next image. So here's proof that we was in China in ancient times, brothers and sisters. This is actually a female warrior right here. Okay? So they had us, y'all. They had us. Go to the next image. Look at that right there. Zoom in on that. So look at that. We even start, like I told you, we started to take on their phenotypes as well. James 1:1. The Israelites scattered amongst all nations, y'all.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
The 12 tribes scattered abroad. Luke 21:24. The 12 tribes scattered abroad. We've been scattered amongst all nations. We always like to deal with the same people. Oh, we was in America, South America, we're Africa. Well, what about Moab? What about China, Japan, right? In India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, the Oceania Islands, Solomon Islands, right? What about those places? We got to start dealing with those places too, which we are. Isaiah 11:11. Shout out to the brothers that's putting in work when it comes to that, and the sisters. Go ahead.
The book of Luke 21:24.
Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And our forefathers fell by the edge of the sword during 70 AD. Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And we was led away captive into all nations. Go back to that last image you just showed us, the black and white one. Led away captive. Look, we was drawing water for them. Zoom out. We was drawing water for them. We were slaves in China, brothers and sisters. Slaves in China, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations.
Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Come on.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Go to the next image. And I want you to give me Isaiah 43, verse 3. Look at this image right here. Zoom in. Look at this. So you see these people here. They have taken on, some of them have taken on the phenotype, the eyes, the slant of the eyes and things of that nature from Moab. Look at that hair. Look at them dreads. It's their natural hair, man. Now, you ain't seen no Moabites today like that. But if you go into, I'm very guarantee you, you go deep into the interiors of China, you're going to see Moabites that look like this. A lot of them are our people. Read that for me.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 3.
Come on.
For I am the Lord thy God, the Holy One of Israel,
Read.
Thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom.
So let's just put it out there also. The Lord killed people for us. The Lord said, you know what? I'm going to give the firstborn child of everybody in the land of Egypt to save my children. Go ahead.
I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee.
Ethiopia and Seba for thee, read.
Since thou was most precious in my sight.
Come on.
Thou hast been honorable,
read.
And I have loved thee.
The Lord said we honorable, and he loved us. Right. Go ahead.
Therefore will I give men for thee.
That's why so since I love you and you're honorable, I'm going to give men for you. So it's time out for the low self-esteem. Got to quit. Y'all got to stop all this. You're not going to make me feel like I'm inferior to you. You're not superior to me and my people. None of these nations are superior to us.
That's right.
Stop walking around with your head down. Stop letting these nations tell you who you are and who you're not. The Bible tells us who we are. Historical facts tell us who we are. We the Israelites, damn it. Come on, read again.
Therefore will I give men for thee and people for thy life.
So the Lord said, I'm going to give people for your life. Go ahead.
Fear not, for I am with thee.
Read.
I will bring thy seed from the east.
He said, what? You going to do what?
I will bring thy seed from the east.
Go back to that image. I want you to go back to that image. The Lord said he's going to bring our seed from the east. We got brothers and sisters that's scattered throughout China and Mongolia and all these places, Korea, North Korea, all that, South Korea, Japan. We got our brothers and sisters that have been scattered there. The Lord said, I'm going to bring them home. I'm going to bring them to Jerusalem. Read it again.
Fear not, for I am with thee.
Read.
I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west.
And gather thee from the west. That's over here in the Americas. So us over here in America going to meet our brothers and sisters from China and various other places throughout the eastern part of the world.
That's right.
That's what the Lord said. I'm gonna meet y'all. I'm gonna drop y'all off in the wilderness together. We're gonna see people that we ain't never even knew existed. We're gonna be like, oh, damn, you my brother? You understand? You my sister? I had no idea. You understand? Well, you was in China, then you was in captivity in China. I was in captivity in Babylon. You understand? The Lord gonna reunite us, brothers and sisters. We gotta wake up to this. Isaiah 16:4. To go with this, Isaiah 43.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 16 and verse 4.
Come on.
Let mine outcast dwell with thee.
What the Bible say?
Let mine outcast dwell with thee.
Read.
Moab.
What did he say?
Moab.
The Bible says, let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. So amongst the Moabites, there are Israelites. Who are those outcasts? Could you go to Isaiah 11, verse 11?
The book of Isaiah 11 and verse 11.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time.
Read.
To recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria.
From Assyria, that's Turkey.
And from Egypt.
From Egypt, that's Lower Egypt.
And from Pathros.
Northern Egypt.
And from Cush.
And from Ethiopia.
And from Elam.
Elam is India to Iran. Go ahead.
And from Shinar.
That's Iraq.
And from Hamath.
Hamath is Syria.
And from the islands of the sea.
Islands of the sea, the Solomon Islands, the Oceania Islands, Australia. Go ahead.
Right. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Go ahead.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Those outcasts that are dwelling amongst Moab. Amongst Moab are the outcasts of what?
And the outcasts of Israel.
Read.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah. Go ahead.
From the four corners of the earth.
Hey, I got to show y'all something. It's a book that I had that I didn't pull out, but I got to show you something. I got to show you, man. We is amongst these folks, man. We just ain't never been taught. Ain't nobody ever taught us nothing.
You're going to learn today.
Go ahead, Rob.
They say when they say from the islands of the sea, a lot of people don't even realize Japan is an island. We there too.
It's an island. For real, though.
Hey, can I bring something out real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because they love to say that Issachar in particular is not the Israelites. They always, them Mexicans, they not Israelites. We just did a show last week dealing with that. But we, like Cap bring it out, we got to show our people, man, we was mingled among the heathen. Give me 1 Ezra chapter 8. It started at verse 69, read down to 70 real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good right there. Read that. I ain't had that. Good. That's a good precept.
69.
The book of 1 Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 69. Bring it out.
Just listen, we got to understand the Bible is the main source of history, but there are also other books that links with the Bible. So when we go to the scriptures and then we bring out these other books, y'all can see the whole entire picture. Read.
The book of 1 Ezra 8:69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, the Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land.
Go ahead.
Nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites,
Of the Canaanites.
the Hittites,
Uh-huh.
the Perizzites,
Uh-huh.
Jebusites,
Uh-huh.
and the Moabites.
And the who?
The Moabites.
So our people during this time, this is during the time of the Persian Mede captivity. We was mingling ourselves. We was dealing with these people during that time. Go ahead.
The Egyptians
Uh-huh.
and Edomites.
Read on.
For both they and their sons have married with their daughters.
See that? See, both their sons have married their daughters. So when people try to bring up their argument and say, oh, the Mexicans, they not Israelites, you ain't reading the Bible. You don't know history. Okay? During this time period, read that verse 70 again.
For both they and their sons have married with their daughters.
Uh-huh.
And the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land.
You see that? And the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. That's why when we go over there to China, yes, we're going to see our people with their phenotype. We're going to see that because our people have mixed themselves with those people. Go ahead.
And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity.
You see that? He said, from the beginning of this matter, we have been partakers of this. See, nigga, remember when we read in Numbers 25, the Most High like to kill the whole nation because we went dealing with the Moabite women. So listen, we coming back to this history, man. We showing our people what the real deal is.
All praises to the Most High. So, hey, give me that real quick. Hey, that's a fire precept, bro. I'm glad you. Hey, give me that book. So I see y'all ain't check the chat. Come on, brethren. Or maybe you did and maybe my phone just jacked up. I don't know. But check the chat for me, okay? It's two pictures I put in there. Show the bottom picture first, which is the cover of the book, and then show inside the book. Because we was talking about how the Israelites is scattered amongst the Moabites. All right? Watch this real quick. Yeah. No. Show the cover of the book so when nobody say that it's something we typed up. You know how folks say, oh, y'all typed that up yourselves. Who got time for that? I got a job. You understand? I ain't got no time to be writing up no damn, no essay to lie to y'all. What the hell is this? No, that ain't it. I put the book in there, brother. Is that the last two things I put? It's the Chinese Jews of the Chinese Jews. Come on, y'all. The theology of the Chinese Jew. Hear me out. There you go, right there. Perfect.
The theology of the Chinese Jews, 1000 to year 1850.
Right. Go inside the book by Jordan Paper. Yeah, read this.
I am convinced that we are not only of the same people, but the same tribe, Saul continued. You know, Jews came to China a century before the Christian era. More than 300 years ago, when their descendants were discovered in Kaifeng by the Jesuits, the priests of false Messiah.
Go ahead.
They bore surnames.
Hey, notice what they call the Jesuits, the priest of the false Messiah. Them Jesuits was Edomites. You understand that? Go ahead.
They bore surnames that seemed wholly Chinese.
So it said the Jews had surnames that looked wholly Chinese. Go ahead.
Chao,
Chen,
Shi, among a few others.
Read.
Li too, but Li is of course Levi.
You hear that? But Li is of course Levi. So the Jews was amongst.
Where'd you find this?
I ain't heard that in a minute. Damn, son. All right, all praise. So Li was for Levi. Okay. So yeah, let's get back to it. Y'all know I got to get the running off. Let me keep going for a second. I got a little bit more. All right, give me that forgotten slavery of China. We got about an hour left. Captain Joel, I'm trying not to jump into. He said, Cap, please just let me start on time. I said, you right, Cap. I'm sorry, man. Go to that picture right there. You can show that image. I know you want to show it. Go ahead. Put it on up. Africans in ancient China. Look at that right there. So we was amongst them, y'all. We was amongst them, okay? Go ahead. Go to the next one. There's an article I had that says Forgotten Slavery of China. Forgotten Slavery of China. Yep, let's read that there. Don't worry about the forgotten slavery of China. Let's read this. Zoom in.
The Great Wall of China is one of the most impressive feats of engineering and human labor in history.
So the Great Wall of China is one of the most impressive feats of engineering in human history. Don't they say the same thing about the pyramids? Who built the pyramids? Come on, man. Play it. Read it.
Spanning over 13,000 miles.
Damn.
The wall was built over centuries to protect China, the Chinese Empire, from invaders. Though the wall is often associated with the Qing Dynasty, 221 to 206 BCE, it was actually built and extended by many dynasties that followed. Slavery was commonplace in China during the time the Great Wall was being constructed.
I wonder who those slaves was that built the Great Wall of China. Go ahead.
It is estimated that as many as 2 million slaves were used to build the wall. These slaves were often treated harshly, working long hours in difficult conditions.
Remember we read in Jeremiah 48, the Lord called them mad men. They didn't give a damn. Because I think in the movie, what that movie we were talking about, The Mummy? In The Mummy, he talked about how the slaves were buried under the Great Wall of China. We would die and they would throw us right over and then just bury us up under it. Wherever we would die at from the hard labor. Y'all think this white man the only one that did some evil to you. Nah, Moab did much evil. Go ahead.
These slaves were often treated harshly, working long hours in difficult conditions. Many of them died during the construction process, despite the arduous labor and brutal conditions.
Go ahead.
These slaves who built the Great Wall of China left behind an impressive legacy. Their hard work and sacrifice helped to create one of the most iconic structures in the world.
Iconic structures in the world. And guess who did it? Black folks. Watch this. How I know. Go to that image. Go to up higher to the image real quick. It's an image right there. On the same page is an image. See that image up top? Yep. Show that image, bruh. Look at that, man. Them black folks that's building that. Them ain't Chinese for them black people, them black slaves that was building that. You understand that? Go from there. Go from there. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I had an article, but it's gonna take me too far off. Skip over that article. Go to the next thing we had. Do I got time? Do I need time? Yeah, just jump in there. Read this real quick.
History of Community, The Jews of China, History of a Community and Its Perspectives by Carolyn Rebu.
All right. Go to the next page. Yep. Go to the next page. No, right there. I'm sorry. Go back. Let's read that where it says it is important.
Yes, sir. It is important to note the confusing terminology one encounters in the sources. Sometimes the arrival of Jews in China is conflated with their arrival in Kaifeng.
Mm-hmm.
The two terms often used interchangeably, despite the fact that Jews, in fact, settled in several locations in China, such as Harbin, Beijing, Shanghai, and Nanking.
So we all in China. Go ahead.
Over the ages, over the course of history, we will therefore distinguish between these two terms, as may be seen in the table at the end of the chapter.
Now watch this. Go to Isaiah 49, verse 11 through 13. Because it's going to tell you. So we find the first mention of Jews in China in the Bible in Isaiah 49, verse 11 through 13. Isaiah promises that in the end of days, the Jews will return to their land from the four corners of the earth. This verse mentions explicitly that they will even return from China. And then give me that last image that I just posted at the bottom after you read this. Read
the
it.
book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and verse 11. And I will make all my mountains away. I will make all my mountains away.
Go ahead.
And my highways shall be exalted.
Go ahead.
Behold, these shall come from far.
These shall come from far.
And lo, these from the north
Uh-huh.
and from the west, and these from the land of Sinim.
Now, remember we just read in Isaiah chapter 43, it said he's going to bring out children from the east. Now he uses a specific land. He says Sinim. Sinim is China. How do we know? Pull up that image that we just showed. Shout out to Bishop Nathaniel for posting. Thank you, Bishop. I'll praise to the Most High. Pull that up real quick. Let's read that. Just read many scholars.
Many scholars have favored identification with China.
So Sinim is China, brothers and sisters. It's China. Go ahead.
The classical Sinai. It seems improbable that Jews had already found their way to China.
We had already found our way there. We read in Isaiah 16 and 4 that we was going to be the outcast, was going to dwell in Moab. So this is not nothing that we making up. Like I said, once again, the Bible pinpoints where the children of Israel are today. It's up to us to go find them. All right? And we going to find them, damn it. You're not going to stop us. We going to find them. And when we find them, we going to teach them who they are. And they going to wake up and repent, and we going home. All right? So best believe that. You finish that out in Isaiah 49? Read 13. I like that.
Verse 13. Sing, O heaven, and be joyful. O earth, and break forth into singing.
So bring forth into singing when you see the purple and gold land in China. When you see the brothers out there prophesying in China, the Bible says, O heavens, and be joyful, O earth, and break forth into singing. Go ahead.
O mountains, for God hath comforted his people.
For the Lord have comforted his people.
And will have mercy upon his afflicted.
And he's going to have mercy upon his afflicted, because in China we have been afflicted. Y'all don't pay no attention to nothing. Trying to show you that right here, right now. Go back to that book I had real quick, The Jews in China. And go to the second page. I don't even know if I want to deal with it. Go to the second page, the number 10. Yep, right there. That's it right there. Read that.
According to sources quoted above, the Jews arrived in India and spread through all the neighboring regions, including Bactria in the 7th century BCE, even before the massive exile that followed the destruction of Jerusalem temple on the 9th of Av in 586 BCE.
Go ahead.
Those remote regions that welcomed them included China and Japan.
So we was in China and, my goodness. Go ahead.
70 years later, when the opportunity to return to Palestine finally arrived, a small number of Jews, lacking a taste for adventure and unwilling to risk returning to settle again in their homeland, preferred to stay in the hospitable countries in which they had recently established themselves. It is probable that those who wanted to return to the kingdom of Israel had never known the country their family had inhabited before the destruction.
So this is going into them wanting to return afterwards, right? After the destruction. So, go from there. Drop that for me, because we still got a ways to go. Give me that next book. It just goes with what the bishop sent us, to show that Sinem is China. But watch this. I'm going to show you. There's a book, the cover to a book I saw you called These from the Land of Sinem by Sir Robert Hart. All right, look at that.
These from the Land of Sinem by Sir Robert Hart.
So Sinem is China. How do we know? Look at the Great Wall of China on the cover of the book. Right. They know that Sinem is China. The Lord said he going to gather his remnant from there. It said, behold, these shall come from far and low, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Sinem. That's going into us coming out of this land. Go to the next picture I had. Zoom in real quick. Zoom into the bottom down there. Read that for us.
Canton, 20,000 Chinese Jews, old synagogues of record.
20,000 Chinese Jews. Now, I got another book that I couldn't pull out for the moment that shows we was keeping the Sabbath and Passover and the Day of Atonement. I couldn't pull it out for now, though, for the sake of time. Go to the top of that same page. Look at that. Jews, look at that. Great massacre of Jews. Look at that. Great massacre of Jews in 854 AD. You see that? Go over to the top left. I think it's Mongolia. Come on, brothers. My goodness.
Mongol Jews persecuted by Christians.
Whoa. Read it again.
Mongol Jews persecuted by Christians.
Mongol Jews persecuted by Christians. They found a way to come in. And when they say Christians, it ain't talking about our forefathers that became, they followed Christ and became known as Christian, the disciple. It ain't talking about them. It's talking about Edomites. We just looked at them Jesuits that came. It's talking about them. They persecuted our forefathers. What you have?
Zoom out a little bit. I want to see that name in the top upper left-hand corner. Because that says, I know what that says. Is that Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan, the greatest military. They attribute him to being one of the greatest military rulers of all time. But under the bottom says Jewish Mongol troop.
Yep. Look at that. Damn. Voila. So yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. All right, so look, skip over that image I had and get to the video. I had a TikTok video. So our forefathers was in China, and we are still in China to this day. Now we're going to get to prophesying against their ass. Y'all thought we prophesied? You thought we prophesied? No, we ain't prophesied. We told you where our people at, that we over there. We ain't prophesied against them yet. We about to in these last 25, 30 minutes. Oh, damn, I got more time than that. Ain't God good? Hey, come on, pull it up. The video I had. Yep, play that.
A black guy in Asia, do you get any weird looks?
In Hong Kong, not really. In China, too much.
Too much?
It's unbearable.
What do they do to you in China? They try to rub your skin in China?
They're trying to clean it.
Being a black guy in Asia.
So the brother said when he be in China, they be trying to clean his skin. Bruh. Now I'm going to show you a video later of a laundry detergent episode or commercial where they really did that for real. I told you, they hate us. They hate us, right? Go to the next video. They think our black skin is a curse.
The hell is this?
Go to the next video. Come on now. So we hated of all nations for Christ's name's sake. Come on, IT. Start it over.
Actually, a lot of black people you'll talk to say they prefer the racism in China over back in the States. They perceive it to be differently because here they see it more as ignorance, whereas in the States it's more like hate. Like people actually hate you and want to kill you or threaten you violently. But in China, it's more like, it's just different. It doesn't seem like they hate you. Especially when I speak Chinese, I can go almost anywhere and talk to people, at least in the places I've been so far. And people will kind of accept me, I guess. I don't know how else to explain that, but they won't be like, oh, get out of my store. They won't follow me around in the store and see if I'm trying to steal something. They won't, be rude to me. Now, that's not the case for all black people. Again, I'm the Obama.
Why is it not the case for all black people? But then she's going to say in the same breath that it's an ignorance. The darker you are, the more they look at you with hatred. She's a light-skinned sister. She could have Esau in her family. I don't know. She our sister. But she don't have the mindset or the understanding of history. We just showed you the evil that they've done to us in history. Now, there was a video that I posted in there that I told y'all to just add in between 33 and 34. Y'all remember that video? It's a video of some athletes getting off the bus. Now, she mentioned right here that she can't say it's the same for all black people, and she don't think they hate us. Could you get what Christ said? Matthew 24, verse 9. All nations hate us, y'all.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 9.
Come on. Bring it out.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you.
Read.
And you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Christ, this is the word of God, okay? Christ said all nations, every last one of them was going to hate us.
Right.
Every last one of them. Hey, give me that one in Nehemiah where it tells you about the heathen. Nehemiah 5:2, I think it is, or 5:3. You know, or 5:9. Nehemiah 5:9. Let's see what the Bible say.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 5 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Also I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God, because the reproach of the heathen are our enemies?
What the Bible say?
Our enemies.
The heathen are our enemies. They hate us. Every last one of them, brothers and sisters. Stop being deceived. Go to the next video. Go ahead. You hear that? Pause it. I know a lot of players, a lot of hoopers that I've known for a long time that always brag about how good the money is in China. Oh, man, go play China. Go play in China. Man, they love black folks. Oh, you didn't just hear this? He said, get the hell out of China, you nigger. And where he learned that from? They've been doing it. He didn't just watch TV and say, oh, I learned that from white people. They've been doing it. We just showed you the history. It's been going down. I'm going to show you. Go to the next video I had after the one with the sister. Y'all think this is a game, and it ain't no game.
You gonna learn today.
Discrimination in China. It's right after the one. Yes, play that.
Which country are you from?
From Zimbabwe.
I'm from DRC.
I come from Burkina, West Africa, Burkina Faso.
Every day, hundreds of business people from over 20 African countries look for goods in Xiaobei and Dunfeng streets in Guangzhou. Locals now call this area Little Africa.
Whoa, pause. Pause. Remember when the white man, pull me up. Remember when, I want them to see me. Remember when the white man bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma? When he bombed Greenwood, Black Wall Street? What did he say? Little Africa is on fire. Now they call Guangzhou, they call it Little Africa because of how many black people live there. And they face discrimination there. We're going to show you. Play it. They face discrimination there. Go ahead.
Which country are you from?
From Zimbabwe.
I'm from DRC.
I come from Burkina, West Africa, Burkina Faso.
Every day, hundreds of business people from over 20 African countries look for goods in Xiaobei and Dunfeng streets in Guangzhou. Locals now call this area Little Africa. Beneath the surface, illegal immigrants are becoming a major problem. Some African traders use fake identities, and others overstay their visas. Jonathan is one of them.
Because I'm coming from another country, not Nigeria.
Which country?
Gambia.
Gambia.
Yeah. This is not my true identity. It's from a relative's identity. It's not legal, but my identity would not allow me to live the life I'm looking for. So I have to now look for other means which have been offered.
Jonathan says he spent about $2,000 to buy this fake identity so he could continue doing business in Guangzhou. Others can't afford this expense and have simply taken the risk of overstaying their visas. Gabriel says when he failed to get a visa extension, he was left with no choice.
Nobody wants to overstay. You know, when you overstay, it gives you many problems, you know. If you overstay, maybe you hear police is coming, your heart breaks, you are afraid, you are scared, you know.
So, Paul, so our people are poor, and they run into China for refuge, some of them. And as they go to China for refuge, they have a visa. Obviously, the visa has a certain amount of time that you can stay. Well, a lot of them, because of poverty and oppression and not having the finances to get back to their various different countries where there's poverty and oppression. You know what's funny? Right. China all up in Africa, just robbing Africa. And people from Africa run to China for a refuge because they see China stealing their resources in Africa, and they say they don't want them there. They want to kick them out. So I showed you. They face discrimination there just like anywhere else. Go to the next one. You had something? Go ahead. You want to say something? Go ahead. Go to that racial discrimination in healthcare in China. Come on. There's 2 images. Well, you can go there. Yeah, read that. Play that. Show that. Pause. Zoom in. Can you zoom in? It said, I don't like to hug people with black faces. This is the little Chinese girl talking to this grown black man. Go ahead. Pause it. I only like white faces. Go ahead. He said, why? Pause it. Because white people are good people. That's what she said. Go ahead. Black people, pause it, they get dirty. You heard what he said? She said she think that our black skin is dirt on our skin. What? And not our actual skin color. And then a dude talked to her in Chinese, and he smiled, and he take it from the little girl and act all, you understand how people docile, weak as hell.
The hell is this?
You understand? He take it and let her talk. He start talking to her in her language. She get all comfortable, and he said, oh, yeah, you know, my black skin is not that, and this, and that. I'm telling you, man, the Bible said we're going to be hated of all nations. That we keep trying to tell y'all. Right. All right, go to the next one. Move past those images. Go to the racist detergent. You can go past that. This is just going into the healthcare in China, how they look at us healthcare-wise, medical apartheid. Go to the racist detergent commercial. Now we're finna get it in. The racist detergent commercial. I posted it. It was next. Come on. All right. It's number 37. Come on, IT. There you go. Look at this. Boy, if you don't sit your... Look at that. Pause. So this was a real ad. This ain't nothing we made up. This is a real ad on actually airing throughout China. Now, what's interesting about this, the brother was obviously some type of help or something, right? He was painting the house or something. He went around the corner and got to lusting after the little Moabite woman, and she shoved some damn dishwashing detergent, whatever the hell it was, in his mouth and then pushed him in the washer so that his black skin could be washed clean. That's the same thing the brother said when he go place, they try to scratch his skin. That's the same thing the little Moabite told that grown black man that she was sitting down at the table eating with her, that his skin was dirty. I'm telling you, that's racism. Pure racism. But some of y'all don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to the things that we have to endure in these various other countries, because you live in America and you live in a bubble. Right. And you're not paying attention to what's going on this earth. Now, it's funny that they use that. Give me that image real quick, the next image. And I want you to give me Psalms 108, verse 9. Because the Most High got a sense of humor too. Oh, Most High got a sense of humor. Now, this is an old ad. Zoom out. This is an old ad. That ain't the picture. That ain't the whole picture. Oh, it did get cut off. This is an old ad. If you look at the bottom, it's called Magic Washer Beats Everything. So the so-called Chinese, which is the Moabites, they've always been known for what? Having laundry mats and things. Right. So you see they got the wash pot right there. Let's see what the Lord say.
The book of Psalms, chapter 108 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Bring it out. Moab is my wash pot.
The Lord said, Moab is my wash pot. Look at Uncle Sam kicking him in his ass. You see that? Uncle Sam said, get out of here. Magic washer beats everything. This was a campaign ad back in the 50s and 60s because Moabites was coming to the Americas or coming to the United States, and they were building laundromats. So the white man, he don't like to lose no money, especially not to no Moabite. He called him a chink, right? He said, hell no. Magic washer beats everything. So he made that ad of Moab being kicked out. But notice they got wash pots. The Most High has got a sense of humor. You understand that? Read it again.
Moab is my wash pot.
Go ahead.
Over Edom will I cast out my shoe.
He's going to cast his shoe at Edom. Go ahead.
Over Philistia will I triumph.
Now watch this. Go to the next image. There's a few images I had. Just go through those images real quick. So look. This is one. It's a famous look. I told you, Moab is my wash pot. The Lord is preparing them to wash our clothes in the kingdom. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Look at that. There ain't no coincidence that they got ads like that. Most High cold with it. Most High said they're gonna be my wash pot. You understand what I'm saying? Now go to Isaiah 16 verse 6. The Lord said they're gonna be my wash pot. Right. They're gonna get it for the evil that they done to our people. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 16, verse 6.
Read.
Bring it out. We have heard of the pride of Moab.
So we have heard, the Lord said, we have heard of the pride of Moab. Moab, a prideful people. Come on.
He is very proud.
He is very proud. Go ahead.
Even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath. But his lies shall not be so.
Read.
Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Everyone shall howl. For the foundations of Kir-Hareseth shall ye mourn. Surely they are stricken.
So remember, we read earlier what the Lord did to Kir-Hareseth. That's when our forefathers, during the time of the kings, brought judgment on them. You understand what I'm saying? And slaughtered many of them. So now he said, Moab is a prideful people. And they even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath. We showed you that earlier, his pride and his wrath, right? What he did to our forefathers, how he slaughtered us and murdered us in slavery, and the things he even doing to oppress our people now. Now watch this. Go to Jeremiah 48, verse 26. Remember I told you we're going to go back and forth between these precepts because a lot of them are twofold, you understand? Threefold in some cases. Watch this. Jeremiah 48, 26.
Jeremiah chapter 48 and verse 26.
Go ahead.
Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord.
So wait a minute. It's talking about, read 25.
Verse 25. The horn of Moab is cut off.
The horn of Moab is cut off.
And his arm is broken.
And his arm is broken. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord.
Read.
Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord.
Go ahead.
Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he shall also be in derision.
So wait a minute. The Bible says, make ye him drunken. So I want you to go to Jeremiah 25, verse 17. What does he mean, make ye him drunken? Let's see. Jeremiah 25, 17. Come on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25 and verse 17.
Go ahead.
Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink.
And made all the nations to drink. Go ahead.
Unto whom the Lord had sent me.
Skip down to 21.
Verse 21. Edom and Moab.
Edom and Moab. Notice, Moab is in there. The Lord said he going to make Moab drink. So when he said be ye drunken, he means of these prophecies, these things that going to come to pass against Moab for the evil they've done against God's people.
That's right.
Nobody gets away, man. Nobody gets away for the evil that you've done to God's people. Right. Everybody going to get it. Moab is no different. Skip down to 29.
Verse 29, for lo, I begin to bring evil on the city, which is called by my name.
Meaning Jerusalem, he brought evil on us. Go ahead.
And should ye be utterly unpunished?
And should you Moabites be utterly unpunished? Go ahead.
Ye shall not be unpunished.
The Lord said you shall not be unpunished. Go ahead.
For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts.
The Lord said, I'm going to bring a sword on all of them. That means war. The Lord going to bring war on all the nations for the evil they've done against his people. Now go back to Jeremiah 48 real quick. And I want you to read 26 again.
Jeremiah 48:26.
Read.
Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. Moab also shall wallow in his vomit,
Read.
and he shall also be in derision.
Watch this. It said he had magnified himself against the Lord. Give me them images. Let me show you how Moab magnified himself against the Lord. Let me show you. Because a lot of y'all don't be paying attention to how he just, look, did the Lord tell us and command us not to eat dog? Did the Lord tell, because the Moabites are the children of Lot. That means they know the commandments. Because Lot was called just Lot. So Lot knew the commandments and taught his sons the commandments. So they know we ain't supposed to be eating this. But these filthy heathen are eating. Look, they chopping up dog, man. And then did we really think that the Chinese restaurant in America ain't selling us dog?
Hey, y'all better stop going up in there.
The Lord, go ahead.
That's them short ribs they selling.
That's them short ribs they tell you. You right, boy. I passed by Plows in Raleigh, North Carolina yesterday. We passed by that Korean hot pot or whatever the hell they call it. I said, man, I know they got all kind of damn dog and cat up in that jet.
Cap. I was watching the video on Facebook the other day, and the title said, Durham, North Carolina. The Edomite was fighting with the Chinese woman to get her cats back out the back of the restaurant.
Whoa, my God. Right here in North Carolina. Right here in North Kakalaki. All right. Look at this, man. Hog head. They magnify themselves against the Lord, brother. The Lord told us not to eat this. Look at all this abomination they eating, man. Look at that. Come on, man. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, man, they got Starfish. They got Patrick Star. Not my guy. Come on, man. Patrick Star. Bruh. Squid. All that. Look at that. Hey, we read that scripture again. What did it say? What did it say? Verse 26.
Verse 26. Make ye him drunken, for he had magnified himself against the Lord.
Read.
Moab shall wallow in his vomit.
The Lord say he gonna wallow in his vomit. That's why so much sickness and disease over there. You think these folks ain't over there with sickness and, yes, they over there with sickness and disease, brothers and sisters. Right. All throughout. I'm gonna show you that in the prophecies too, right? Read down to 29. You finished that?
No, sir.
Read.
And he also shall be in derision.
Read.
For was not Israel a derision unto thee?
You see that? Because we was a derision unto them. They had us in derision. Read.
Was he found among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippest for joy.
They skippest for joy. They was happy to have us in captivity. Skip down to 29.
Verse 29.
Go ahead.
We have heard the pride of Moab.
We have heard his pride, Lord said. Read.
He is exceeding proud.
He is exceeding proud. Go ahead.
His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and his haughtiness of his heart.
Go ahead.
I know his wrath, saith the Lord, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not so affect it.
His lies shall not so affect it. Watch this. Go to those videos. Go to that video that's next. Let me show you how the Lord judging them. Because a lot of y'all, I told you, you're not paying attention. You don't pay attention. You live in a bubble. Is this the first video I had? The earthquake? Play it. Look at him running. Real track star. Lord bring judgment on him. Give me that Jeremiah 48 verse 46.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 48 and verse 46. Woe be unto thee, O Moab, the people of Chemosh perisheth, for thy sons are taken captives, and thy daughters captives.
Skip down. I meant to see 42. I was going to get that for later, but it is what it is. The Lord brought it out. 42.
Verse 42. And Moab shall be destroyed from being a people.
So the Lord bringing judgment on them. It said, for Moab shall be destroyed from being a people. Go ahead.
Because he hath magnified himself against the Lord.
Because he magnified himself against the Most High. Why? When he put us in slavery? When he called himself the next power on the earth, and he gonna be the next reigning ruling power after America? No, you're not. Christ's gonna be the next ruling power after this place. Go ahead.
Fear and the pit, and the snare shall be upon thee, O inhabitants of Moab.
Go back to that video. Go back to the end of that video real quick. When they was running. Go back to the end of that video when they was running. Go a little further. Zoom in. Go further. Yep, play it. Play it. Read script. Pause. Come on, man. He was getting it, though. He was getting it. Go back. He was running out the screen. He ran out the frame. He ran out the frame and we can get it. Come on, man. Please. Come on, IT. Help me out.
That's that fear right there.
Yeah, and I want you to read verse 44. Read 44.
Verse 44. He that fleeth from the fear shall fall into the pit.
You hear what God said? He that fleeth from the fear. He fleeing from that earthquake, running from God. Go fall right in the pit. Go ahead.
And he that getteth up out of the pit shall be taken in the snare.
Because they may escape that earthquake, but God gonna then bring the tsunamis on them. Go ahead.
For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, saith the Lord.
They gonna get it. They are going to get it. This is only a small thing. Go to the next video. Go to the next video. Sure, look at this. Pause it. You gotta put a disclaimer. You gotta put a disclaimer down so we can read it. Unfortunately. Can you pull the disclaimer down? Just go.
Extreme weather has caused tremendous
economic whatever.
Yeah.
Play it. So they got a whole bunch of $42 billion worth of damage just in 2023 alone. Oh, there it is. Come on, man.
In the first 9 months of 2023, the country has lost $42 billion.
So the Lord judging Moab right before our eyes, man. In the first 9 months of 2023, the country has lost $42 billion.
I'm hurt losing a 20.
And I know I drop $1 on them. I'm looking like, man, where that dollar that I had? Play it.
From natural disasters such as torrential rain and landslides.
Damn, go ahead. This all from 2023. Look at that. I judge these folks.
Officials say more than 89 million people have been affected.
89 million. Bro, the Lord ain't playing with Moab, man. He ain't playing with Moab. Give me Isaiah 29:6. For sake of time, I got to push on past this. 89 million people have been affected by the Lord's doing. Natural disasters, an act of God, that's what they call it. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter, you said 29?
29:6, bro.
29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise.
So the Bible says you're going to be visited with thunder and with earthquake. Read.
And with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
So the Lord visiting the earth and judging these Moabites. The Lord bringing judgment on them, brethren, for the evil that they done. They ain't getting away with it. The Lord got, he just getting started. The Lord just getting started. Right. This ain't the end. Go to the next one. The natural disasters. Go to the next one. So we saw that earthquake, $42 billion, 89 million people affected. Come on, what that happened at? Come on, watch this. A flood waterfall, read that.
A flood waterfall gusts down a retaining wall in China, submerging cars and trucks.
Bam. Where this happened at? Pause it. Pause it. This just don't happen, brethren. God got to be in the midst of this. That don't just happen. Go back. They build the infrastructure so it won't happen. Play it. Come on back, play it. Come on, IT. Look at that. Devastation.
Red alerts were issued in Chongqing as towns experienced heavy torrential rain.
So don't nobody want to help our people that's in China that's going through affliction and struggle? Lord said, I got your back. I'm going to bring judgment.
That's right.
Go ahead. Wow. All right, pause it. That's it. All right, go to 2nd Edges 15:49. We're going to bounce in and out of 2nd Edges right quick for a minute before we get up out of here.
The book of 2nd Edges, chapter 15 and verse 49. I will send plagues upon thee.
So the Lord said he's going to send plagues upon Moab. Go ahead.
Widowhood. Poverty. Famine.
You know what poverty come from? $42 billion being lost. 89 million people being affected. People dying left and right. That creates poverty, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
Famine. Sword and pestilence.
Famine, sword, and pestilence. That disease, that sickness for all that crap they eating. Pestilence, sword, famine, read.
To waste thy houses with destruction and death.
To waste their houses with destruction and death. That's what earthquake does. That's what flooding does. That's what tsunamis do. They destroy your houses. You understand? With waste and destruction. Go ahead.
And the glory of thy power shall be dried up as flour, when the heat shall arise that is sent over thee.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee.
So it says, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Japan ain't got 42 billion to give China. Russia ain't got 42 billion to give China. America damn sure ain't giving China no money. So they lovers that they've been making love with all this time, that they've been fornicating with, ain't even there to help them. Thank God. Go ahead.
Would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith the Lord?
Read.
If thou hadst not always slain my chosen.
If you would have just kept your hands off the Israelites. If you had not always slain the Israelites. Go ahead.
Exalting the stroke of thine hands.
And then making mockery. Making YouTube channels and commercials, putting little drops of little detergent and things in a black man's mouth, putting them in the washing machine so he can come out clean like a Moabite. Oh, God said, I see all that. Go ahead.
Exalting the stroke of thine hand and saying over their dead when thou wast drunken.
Read.
Set forth the beauty of thy countenance.
Come on.
The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom.
So the Lord said the reward of your whoredom going to be in your own bosom. Go ahead.
Therefore shall thou receive recompense.
Therefore you go receive recompense. The Lord ain't playing with these people. Go ahead.
Like as thou hast done unto my chosen,
just like you did to the Israelites, said the Lord.
Even so shall God do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief.
And shall deliver thee into mischief. The Lord is not playing with the Moabites. All right? Now, go to verse 46 in that same chapter.
Verse 46.
Come on.
And thou, Asia, that art partakers of the hope of Babylon.
So it's saying, thou, Asia, that are partakers of the hope of Babylon. Give me some of those images and stuff. I had some images of some stuff to show that they the hope of Babylon. How they try to pattern themselves after America. It's maybe start at 49. 49, real quick. Pull it up real quick. I ain't got much time. 49. It was right after the YouTube video. Y'all should have all this in order and ready to go. Read that again.
Yes, sir. And thou, Asia, that art partakers of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person.
Glory of Babylon's person. Listen, China want to be just like America, y'all. China wants to be just like America. Everything America does, China tries to fight to one-up them. It's always been that way. And it's even more that way in these last days. Because in China's mind, they really got in their mind, we the next world superpower. You got the video or the article for me? Yeah, watch this, read.
General highlights China's military advantages and disadvantages. There are three things that the Chinese military has that the U.S. military, allies, and partners in the region do not have, said Army General Charles A. Flynn, commander of the U.S. Army Pacific.
Let's go down. Let's see what those things are.
Scroll down.
Come on, brother, scroll down.
They have interior lines, he said. He noted that they're just 100 miles from Taiwan and they have anti-access. Area denial means to keep opposing forces at a distance, such as missiles, aircrafts, and ships, as well as cyber and space capabilities.
I want you to read that. What? And cyber and what?
Space capabilities.
So China, in their mind, they like, yo, America got a space force, we got a space force. America got cyber security, we got cyber security. Go ahead.
The second thing is they have is mass. He said, meaning they have a very large military force.
Now, Mia, you was talking about that earlier.
Yes,
how many troops does China have compared to America?
China has 2 million men in their army, 2 million standing troops.
Damn. And I seen women marching too. They got a women's army too.
Yes, sir. It's called the People's Liberation Army, I believe, the PLA.
Damn. So they got a lot of men. Now, America, from what I've been told and from what my research, got about 500,000, 600,000 foot soldiers that they can spare. Not in that region, though. They're not all in that region. They're scattered throughout the world. So although America has more military bases and has a more powerful military overall, China is trying to compete with America. Go ahead. Go back inside. See what third one?
The third thing they have is magazine depth, he said, which would include large quantities of standoff munitions.
So they ain't playing. China is trying to compete with America in every way, shape, or form. They're trying to one-up Babylon, all right? Go out of there. Go to the next thing. There was an image I had. That's a lot of bullets. 2 million people. And they just there to defend their country. They ain't trying to come in yours. So behind the U.S.-China trade war.
Behind the U.S.-China trade war, the race for global technological leadership.
So I want you to go to, read that first part.
Even if the U.S. and China agree on a deal that would end their on-again, off-again trade war, the economic and trade relationship between these two countries will be fraught for years to come. This is because the current dispute is not so much as about trade, but rather about the larger structural issues. The U.S. and China are locked in a race for economic and technological dominance in the long term. Resolving this new rivalry will require both sides to find a mutually acceptable middle ground.
That'll never happen. America will never bow down to Moab, ever. Go ahead.
This chapter focuses on U.S. demands in the current U.S.-China trade war and tech race as a starting point and outline some solutions from the U.S. perspective.
So now we can drop that. So when you read later on, the U.S.'s solutions is shut the hell up and let her rule all over you. I read it. They like, man, to hell with y'all. Look, how about y'all just fall back on some of the stuff that you're creating, and why don't you just fall in line under us? I'm just telling you, that's how they are. They're not going to bow down to China, man. They're not bowing down to no damn Moabite. I'm just telling you, that's what the Bible says. Now read it again. You know what I had.
2 Ezra 15:46.
Go ahead.
And thou Asia that are partakers of the hope of Babylon,
read.
And not the glory of her person.
Go ahead.
Woe be unto thee, thou wretch.
The Bible says, woe unto thee, thou wretch.
Because thou hast made thyself like unto her.
Because you done made yourself like America. Read.
And has decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee.
Read.
Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith God.
So what I wanted to do, but I don't have time to do, I wanted to show a quick clip about how China has invaded Africa with financial means. They've gone into Africa like Uganda. When you go to Ghana, they got a China mall. All throughout Africa, you got these Moabites, and what they're doing is they're buying infrastructure, buying land. They're promising money. They're doing the same thing that the economic hitman told us that they do, where they go in and they promise you money and economic power, but you have to follow their policies. That's the same thing China be doing. And they shoot the interest rate up, knowing that these smaller African countries, these impoverished countries, can't do nothing about it. They can't pay for it. You understand? They know they're going to be able to put them in debt. Now, moving forward, go to verse 49 again.
Verse 49, I will send plagues upon thee.
Hey, give me them images of the Great Wall of China that I had. Pull them up. Read.
I will send plagues upon thee.
Read.
Widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence.
Read.
To waste thy houses with destruction and death.
To waste thy houses with destruction and death. Skip down to verse 57. Come on.
Verse 57.
Read.
Thy children shall die of hunger.
Thy children shall die of hunger.
And thou shalt fall through with the sword.
Read.
And thy city shall be broken down.
And thy cities shall be broken down. Read.
And all thine shall perish with the sword in the field.
Right. Read.
That they may be in the they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger.
They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger. That's what's going into this Great Wall of China. The hills and stuff where they be up at. The mountains and stuff like that. Look at that. Look how they build their structures. So that what it mean when I'm going to destroy their houses. The Lord, I'm going to destroy the Great Wall of China. Y'all think that's some great feat that y'all had my people build? I'm going to destroy that. Go ahead.
They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh.
Go to the next images. Who be in the mountains? Keep going. Some more images I had after that. That's the Great Wall of China. Oh, who be in the mountains? It's them Shaolin monks. It's them Shaolin monks that be in the mountains. Look at it. Read what the Lord say again.
They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger.
The Bible said they that be in the mountains shall die from hunger. Why? Because the Lord going to destroy the cities. The Lord going to destroy the Great Wall of China. They be up in the mountains all meditating and got y'all, some of y'all black women, reggae, hung.
The hell is this?
Yeah, all right. The Lord something destroy. Tina Turner. She up there talking about some reggae, hung, and all that. Man, hell no. Go ahead, read it again.
And eat their own flesh.
And guess what? For famine, the monks going to be eating each other. Go ahead.
And drink their own blood.
And they going to drink their own blood.
For very hunger of bread and thirst of water.
Come on.
Thou as unhappy shall come through the sea and receive plagues again.
They're going to get plagues from the sea. going into America, gonna send them submarines that they got all around Japan and all around China and all that, and they're gonna destroy China. Go ahead.
And in the passage they shall rush on the idol city.
And they're going to rush on the idol city going into China. Read.
And shall destroy some portion of thy land and consume part of thy glory.
Damn.
And shall return to Babylon that was destroyed.
Because see, Babylon going to be destroyed by this time. By this time, America going to have been destroyed. But America's naval ships and America's military bases all throughout the world are still going to be standing. So after they come, they're going to go destroy China. Then they're going to go back to Babylon, come back to America that was destroyed to see how all the devastation that happened over here. This going to be world war, y'all. This ain't no game. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire.
Read.
And shall consume thee and thy cities, thy land and thy mountains, all thy woods and all thy fruitful trees.
Go to that article that I had real quick. I had an article about all the beautiful temples in China. And go back, and while you pull up that article, go back to the monks real quick. Hold your finger. Remember it said they're going to kill them in the, or go to, they're going to kill them in the mountains. Go to Jeremiah 49:35 real quick. I got to get up out of here. Cap coming up. Jeremiah 48:35.
The book of Jeremiah 48, verse 35.
Go ahead.
Moreover, I will cause to cease in Moab, saith the Lord, him that offereth in the high places.
In the high places. Remember, he said, I'm going to destroy their mountains and their temples and their houses in the mountains. Go ahead.
And him that burneth incense to his gods.
Buddha and all them. Read.
Therefore mine heart shall sound for Moab like pipes, and mine heart shall sound like pipes for the men of Kirhares, because the riches that he hath gotten is perished.
Read.
For every head shall be bald.
Go to them Shaolin monks. Go to the monks. Go to some of them. I had more images than that. I had some more images than that of them shaving the kids' heads and you see, look. When they become monks, that's what they do. They shave their head. Read the Bible again.
For every head shall be bald.
Every head shall be bald.
And every beard clipped.
And every beard clipped. Read.
Upon all the hands shall be cuttings, and upon the loins sackcloth.
Read.
There shall be lamentations generally upon all the housetops of Moab,
Read.
and in the streets thereof. For I have broken Moab like a vessel, where is no pleasure, saith the Lord.
Skip down to 40.
For thus saith the Lord, behold, he shall fly as an eagle, and shall spread his wings over Moab.
So the Lord gonna bring judgment on Moab.
That's right.
America's military is going to, when they're military bases, they ain't just got planes just in America. Some of them fighter jets, they got stationed all throughout the world. The Lord gonna bring judgment on these people. And he gonna use Babylon to do it. And he gonna do it through their naval ships and their bombs and various different things. Moab, Asia, go get it. You understand that? The Lord not letting them get away. Go to the last verse in that chapter. Unless you know it ain't just talking about then, because somebody going to say, that's talking about back then. All right, read this.
Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days.
What the Bible say?
Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days.
So that ain't just talking about that time. This judgment twofold. The Lord going to get them again in the latter days. They gonna get it. Hey, I'm sorry. Zephaniah chapter 2. Captain Joel, I'm on my way out the door. Have mercy. Zephaniah 2, come on. Verse 8.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 8. I have heard the reproach of Moab.
The Lord said, I hear Moab talking.
And the revelings of the children of Ammon,
come on,
whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom.
So Bible says, surely Moab shall be as Sodom,
and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. Even the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation.
They're going to get it. They're going to be a perpetual desolation. The Lord going to destroy them. Go ahead.
The residue of my people shall spoil them.
And the Lord going to use us to do it.
And the remnant of my people shall possess them.
Oh, and they going into slavery under the Israelites. Thank God. Ain't he good?
That's right.
This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth.
Go ahead.
And men shall worship him, everyone from his place, even all the isles of the heathen.
Go to Isaiah 25, verse 9 through 12. Come on.
Let's go.
I got to get up out of here. But I got to get these prophecies out real quick. Come on. Isaiah 25, verse 9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 25.
Verse 9.
Chapter 25 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Bring it out.
And it shall be said in that day,
Read.
Lo, this is our God.
Go ahead.
We have waited for him, and he will save us.
We've been waiting for the Lord to save us out of the hands of the Moabites. Come on.
This is the Lord. We have waited for him.
Read.
We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation.
Come on.
For in this mountain shall the hand of the Lord of hosts rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down for the dunghill.
Read.
And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them.
And he going to spread forth his hands in the midst of them. Read.
As he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim.
Read.
And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands.
Read.
And the fortress of their high fort.
Go back to the Great Wall of China. And it said what?
And the fortresses of the high fort.
And the fortresses of the high fort. Show them that Great Wall of China again. The fortresses of the high fort. Go ahead.
Of thy walls.
Of thy walls. The Great Wall of China, 13,000 miles, where our ancestors are buried under, that our ancestors built where they murdered us and slaughtered us and enslaved us. Read.
Shall he bring down, lay low, and bring down to the ground, even to the dust.
The Lord is going to judge the Moabites, all these ancient relics and all these different buildings and temples and all this stuff that y'all going to China because you just got to see, and you got to see all these various different places like what are these places? What's the name of these places? Him, I don't know these damn places.
Hong Kong, Shanghai.
Shanghai and all these damn places. The hell with these places.
All the Ming cities.
The Lord going to judge these folks. You understand what I'm saying? All praises to the Most High. So I'm sorry, we had to rush up out of there. Oh, no, Numbers 24 and 17. How could I forget?
Let's go.
You had that? I'm sorry. Numbers 24, 17. Oh, how could I forget? Because Christ's going to get in them too. Oh, Christ's going to bring some judgment on them too. Read that for me.
The book of Numbers, chapter 24 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
I shall see him, but not.
Meaning Christ. Read.
There shall come a